These aren't the only 5 by any means, right? Happy 5 Fact Friday. 5 Fact Friday. I'm Charlie Lambden, and it is 5 Fact. It's not a joke. It's not clickbait. I am sitting on the end of Stig's bed. Stig is still in bed. Grunt. It was just too good an opportunity to pass up. So 5 Fact Friday, 31st of January 2025, brought to you live from Stig's bed. I'm sitting at the foot of Stig's bed. There we are. See, this is Teddy.
That's Monica's teddy.
But there's a Monica's teddy.
Do not blame the teddy bears on me.
But oddly enough, this is the best place I could do 5 Fact Friday from today, because I'm on the road and I'm about to be in the car for the rest of the day and other meetings. Now, what's there's a bear outside the window.
That is big punishment.
And sorry, warning, there is likely to be bad language in this video. So if you've got children around, whenever you're watching this, be warned, there's probably going to be bad language. I don't know, maybe there won't be. Maybe they'll just be...
Bollocks. I've never had bad language.
31st of January means it's self-assessment filing day for those of you who've just woken up and thought, it's Friday.
And remember, they've increased the penalties to £300 this year, not £100, so get it filed.
You get your public service announcements here. At the end of this video, we're going to enjoy watching Richard Madeley question Rachel Reeves about her CV inconsistencies live on air, because that's just...
Did you exaggerate, Rachel? Did you?
This could get messy. But first and foremost, let's just get into the 5 facts. I'll run through again for those of you who think that I waffle on too long. In a nutshell, the 5 facts are: house prices tank £150,000 in home counties. 74 children die in temporary accommodation, where the temporary accommodation itself was cited as a factor in the death. Rightmove says asking rent prices fell for the first time since 2019, only by £3, but still it's better than going up by £100. Government blocks the results of leasehold reform consultation. And the Bank of England warns government on relaxing mortgage lending rules, which is the topic I think Alex would most like to chime in on. He has some strong feelings about that particular topic.
Fucking bastards.
There may still be what's it called, residual inebriation.
Oh man, seriously, I feel quite hammered. I have to be in meetings.
Oh god, it's drunk Stig on a Friday morning. Sorry guys, this is normally a wrong date on the banner. Oh yes, you're right. Oh god, wrong date on the banner. Thank you very much for that. I'll correct it live on air. 31st of January 2025. I put the 24th. It was last Friday. There we are. Thank you very much for that correction. The audience is much sharper than us. Kang says, I'm off to bed, come off night shift. Good morning, everybody. Damien, change is coming. Modi, Gwyncy, Andrew Dennis. Hi, everyone. Right. So you've had the 5 facts in brief. Let's get into them in a little bit more detail.
And the child one, having read the story, is horrendous.
Yeah, I know. It really is horrible.
125,000 children in poverty.
Yeah. In homeless, 125,000 homeless children in temporary accommodation. Well, it's just awful. So,
I am shush.
Okay, so this is a story that came out in the Telegraph. House prices plunge £150,000 as appeal of home counties wears off. The appeal of the home counties wore off some time ago for some of us. But homeowners in British counties are being forced to accept £150,000 under the asking price in a sign that the post-pandemic property boom is over. Yes, they always catch up in the end, don't they? Sales for luxury properties in London's commuter belt worth £1 million or more fell by 9% on average last year, according to a report by financial services provider Investec. The slowdown in Kent was most severe, with a reduction of £156,000. So this is for higher end properties. It's not for first time buyers, sadly. No. If you're a first time buyer thinking, yay, 150 grand off. No, not yet anyway.
It's for the big expensive detached.
Yeah. So that's fact number 1. And it is yet more proof that what I've been saying for a long time, which is that prices at the higher end of the market have been coming down sharply. That was just last year. The year before, 2023, they also came down at the top end of the market as well. So we're down easily 20% off the highs in that above £1 million market, generally speaking, as far as I'm concerned. Right, here is this awful story about temporary housing linked to deaths of at least 74 children. And this is something where I know that there is this sort of subconscious view with a lot of people that actually homelessness doesn't affect them. And this is the point I want to keep getting across. It affects us all, not just because there are children dying, but because of the costs to councils of temporary accommodation that impacts the budgets for public services and affects all of us. So those reports about council tax being raised 25% in some areas, this is in part largely due to the costs of temporary accommodation. And the answer to this would be to build social housing in large numbers so that the government doesn't have to rely on the private rented sector to meet its housing obligations. That's fact number 2. Fact number 3, fact number 3 is Rightmove this week, in unexpected news, actually. Well, it's unexpected to see them reporting it. It's not unexpected to see rents coming down.
Exactly.
Average rents fall for the first time since 2019. Now, there are some of you who've already messaged me on X going, but that's rubbish. I'm a landlord. I just put my rent up on this time last year. There will, of course, be variations and exceptions. And maybe the one who put his rent up 5% on last year hadn't put it up for the 2 years before that. So you're actually just catching up. You're a bit behind. So there will always be anecdotes about that happening. But average, and the important point here is that it's asking prices, rental asking prices have started to come down. And it might only be, as they say, a £3 drop. It's an important turning point after years of sustained price growth. All right. So there's a link to that story below, but that is Rightmove's own figures. Now, but Charlie, you always slag Rightmove off for just being misleading with their data. Yes, because they always talk about it as being actual prices rather than asking prices. And so even in this headline, they are incorrect because they say average rents fall. That is not true. It may or may not be true, but we don't know because they don't have that data. Rightmove doesn't have the actual rent data. They are talking about asking rents, and they say so there in that.
No, but when you told me about this, I went and did some research just in this area and Fulham, Putney, Fulham, etc. And there is no doubt that compared with last year, the asking prices are slightly lower than they were. Not much. I mean, we are not talking about a big difference.
And I think that is a particularly notable leading indicator of recession.
Yeah, where the economy is going.
And people's budgets.
I mean, the idea that landlords would reduce the asking price on their rent, it never happens. I mean, rents only ever go up. So
I'm afraid I can testify to that not to be the case. And that if you are in an area where you are paying over market rent, your landlord will reduce your rent.
Oh, yeah. But in the national narrative,
oh yes,
rents always continue to rise with inflation. You know, why would they not?
And for those of you watching this thinking, how do I get my landlord to reduce my rent? It's very simple. First of all, it has to be the case that you are paying over the local market rent, and you can look at that by looking at the nearest properties to yours currently on the market for rent. Go, hang on a second, the asking rents of these properties that aren't letting near me are asking less than I'm paying here. And as long as you're not unreasonable with it, and as long as actually the landlord looks and goes, can't argue that actually, it has been done.
Yes. Well, I did it here when I moved in originally.
Yeah.
He wanted X, and I said, no, well, I'm only going to pay you Y. And the reason is, here are 5 other properties. And this is what their asking price is. And you know they're going to be negotiated lower than that. And he kind of went, oh, okay.
But that was when you moved in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about after I've been there for a year.
Well, here's the issue, is when he increased the rent by 25%, I had not a leg to stand on because I looked at the market, and it was still 10% higher than the rate that he was now charging. And you go, yeah, I'm not going to mention that to you because you could raise it another 10%.
Yeah, check D says there are probably a lot of facts hiding under Stig's bed.
Oh yeah, no, actually there are. If you look, don't look under the bed, but yes.
Right, on to the next fact, which is the government has just blocked the release of the results of the ground rent consultation, which is part of leasehold reform.
Yeah.
Let me just allow this fella from Free Leaseholders to explain for us all.
You won't believe it. The government has just blocked a freedom of information request to hand over the results of the ground rent consultation because they say they need a safe space. Yes, that ground rent consultation. The government had us all fill in and toil over back in November 2023. Ground rent is a charge for no good or service whatsoever. The government is hiding behind this safe space because they claim that to publish the results would lead to, and I quote, external interference and distraction, i.e. from us, the citizens. They then go on to say that the results would, quote, unacceptably erode the safe space and is liable to cause a chilling effect. Is our natural interest in policy making that favours the people, not rent seekers, somehow dangerous? Matthew Pennycook, then Shadow Housing Minister, was full-throated in his support for the most pro-growth policy option.
I personally share the Secretary of State's preference to cap ground rent at a peppercorn.
Yet since the election, 6 months on, they've gone suspiciously quiet on ground rent, despite this being a manifesto commitment.
Call me a pussy.
I did not know that was coming. It's a clip from South Park.
Sorry, call you what?
Yes. Okay, so that's that. Right, on to the next one. That was fact number 4. And of course, the point there being that the leasehold reform promised by the government seems to be being kicked down the road and into the long grass.
Yeah, of course.
Which is really, really bad news for everyone who's going, when are they going to sort leases out so I can sell my flat or move on or anything?
No, you're fucked.
It's you heard it here first. You're fucked. Right, fact number 4, 5. Hi, this is fact number 5. This is the one where I think Stiggy's likely to get most animated.
Oh God.
The Bank of England warns of risks in relaxing mortgage limits.
Oh no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. Hang on, let me just read out the Andrew Bailey welcomes open public debate, but cautions that easing rules could lead to more repossessions. And I just want to read the first paragraph.
Could lead to higher house prices.
Well, let's just see what he says. Let's see what the article says. Not that you can never actually. This is this dodgy outfit you used to work for, the Financial Times.
Yeah, bastards. Actually, they're not. They're a lovely bunch of people, but they are not led well by old Ruler.
Or Ruler. Ruler is writing this.
Is this Calaf?
Yes.
She was lovely in person.
Ruler Calaf.
But you shouldn't let her write.
Editor of the FT selects her favourite
stories.
stories.
I am the editor.
But actually, yeah. So the Bank of England governor has warned that government-backed proposals to water down limits on risky mortgage lending could trigger more home repossessions. Well, yes. And fail to help first-time buyers, even as he announced plans to review the policy. So,
but does it say and increase house prices? Because that's the major thing.
Yeah.
Repossessions, ignore the fucking repossessions. That's a small percentage in any market. What it will do is it will increase the fucking house price, which will mean that these first-time buyers will end up paying even more in debt repayments over the course of their lifetimes. And when I say lifetimes, I do mean lifetimes because they will have extended the mortgage to 40 or 45 years and they will end up paying so much for their fucking house, they will have no money left over for investment, for their own security in their retirement. There will be nothing other than work. Oh my God, I paid off the house. Oh, look, I died. I'm dead. I'm going to be dead.
So this is worth talking about because he says, he's happy to have. No, Andrew Bailey says he's happy to have an open to public debate, but said that it should take account of the better outcomes that the rules had provided in avoiding a surge in defaults during recent shocks. So he's saying, don't relax the rules that have helped us avoid more repossessions.
He's not wrong.
And he says they have helped to avoid the creation of a large tail of mortgages, which, when we have the inevitable cyclical downturn or shocks that hit the economy.
Sorry,
Warning.
inevitable. I thought Gordon stood up and said no more boom and
Yes,
bust.
he did,
How
didn't he?
many years ago was that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that very well. But I think the most notable thing about this article is that the Bank of England governor is saying, when we have the inevitable cyclical downturns or shocks that hit the economy, they turn out to be a real problem of the sort we have seen in the past. So his comments indicate the Bank of England is reluctant to further relax restrictions on the.
But it's not their choice. This is the point. And the government just turns to the FCA and goes, guys, let them have 50-year mortgages. Let us fuck around. Make it 6 times the salary. And the FCA goes, all right.
So Alex's point on all this is that because rapidly rising house prices have sucked the life out of the economy for a prolonged period of time, that if you continue to do anything that helps extend house price growth, it will continue to bend the economy over and
fuck it in the arse. Oh, sorry.
I did tee that up.
Sorry, I gently bugger it. How's that? Is that better? With Vaseline.
What did I think was going to happen? Honestly, what did I think was going to happen? It's not even 10 o'clock, it's 9:30 on Friday morning. So anyway, bad idea to extend mortgage term
anything
or
that
multiples.
Takes money out of the economy and out of it. As you know, houses are not a liquid asset. They take an age to buy, an age to sell. They sit there, they do nothing. Now, you can live in a house, and as a home, a house is a fantastic thing. As an investment, it's utter shite because this money does not move in the economy. And the more money we suck out of the economy into housing to prop up and boost house prices, the less money there is in productive things. You know, we have a government that says, oh, we're going to build this wonderful triangle of science and technology and AI, and it's going to be fantastic. Between Oxford and Cambridge and London, it's going to be
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. You're like, yeah, where's the money coming from? Because every fucker I know has all their cash in their house. That's it.
Yeah.
If it's not in mortgage payments, it's certainly in rent these days. And it's gone. They have no money to invest. That's okay. We'll get external money. We'll get private company money. We'll get, it'll be wonderful. You're like, you're talking about the Americans again.
Well, actually, you've just reminded me of someone who sent in. Oh, I've got a question I want to read out as well. So we'll quickly do the Rachel Reeves, and then I'm going to read out this question and answer it live on 5 Fact Friday. The question is, which I didn't have prepared in advance, so forgive me one moment. The question is, and let's just stop sharing that as well. This is the question I will answer after we've seen Rachel Reeves clip. So someone messaged me privately asking to remain anonymous, saying, I paid £345,000 for my new build 1-bed flat in London in 2020.
Yeah.
I have been trying to sell for a year.
Yeah.
Had an offer last year of 350,000, but it fell through. I think they weren't serious and or that it was a bad estate agent. And it's true. Agents will sometimes make up, we think we might have an offer just to keep you from going somewhere else. I now have an offer of 315,000. So £35,000 less. They won't go any higher. And the estate agent is not hopeful on getting more viewings. Accepting that offer takes me £5,000 into negative equity. Should I accept?
Yes.
Is this the best I will ever do?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to give it a more nuanced answer after this. But the point here is this. This is yet another individual that's contacted me to say, I bought a new build with Help to Buy 5 years ago, and I can't sell because I'm in negative equity now. And all of those people, when they bought at the time, went, but property just always up. It's always, you can't go wrong. Bricks and mortar, safe as houses. And I just want today's people to think of, there's a nice new build flat. I might go and buy it. And just bear in mind, okay, there isn't Help to Buy out there at the moment, which is.
But is it coming back? Is it?
I mean,
bear in mind, with the one hand, she's put the brakes.
Sorry. So I'm going to answer. We'll come back to that in a minute.
On the one hand, she's put the brakes on with the stamp duty.
Yeah.
And you go, oh my God, well, that's going to impact housing. But if they then put, on the other hand, go, it's Help to Buy, and then that would just be insanity.
It's like accelerating with a handbrake on.
Correct. Yes, exactly that.
Right, guys. So here we have the video of Rachel Reeves. And you all know, I criticized Rachel Reeves' experience or lack of experience before the election. I warned people that she's not up to the job as Chancellor. I warned that policies would be bad. And a lot of people criticize me for questioning her credibility.
Why?
We'll wait 5 years, see how she does. You don't need to. When you hire an amateur, if you ever employed people, right? You don't hire someone, then first of all, whose CV is full of lies. You don't hire them, first of all. Secondly, when you hire them and see that they're doing a terrible job, you don't think, let's give them 5 years and see how it goes.
No.
So this is I thought,
shoot them in the head.
This is how, metaphorically speaking,
oh yes,
for the Stasi who are watching. This is.
By the way, you shoot them in the head in front of the hole you have already dug. But that's And if you're clever, you get them to dig the hole first. But by the by, by the by.
So this is what happened when this is yesterday morning, live on ITV's Breakfast, and it's Richard Madeley of all people. Here we go.
Surfaced. That was in November, I think. As it is your first appearance on the programme since that story dropped, I think it's important that we ask you about it. We don't seek to embarrass you, but we'd just quickly like to go through it. It'll take me 20 seconds to summarise it. You told Stylist magazine that you'd worked at the Bank of England for a decade. In fact, it was only 6 years, and one of those years was at the London School of Economics doing a master's course, so that's 5 years and not a decade. And in biographies that you'd actually endorsed, it was stated that you worked as an economist at the Bank of England, the British Embassy in Washington, and latterly at the Halifax Bank of Scotland. But according to your former colleagues in your actual job, you actually worked in a support department at...
Is it just me, or is this co-host trying her hardest to not laugh out loud?
Scottish Bank, and you sort of helped out with admin and IT, and that's all earned you the nickname of Rachel from Accounts. Did you enhance your CV to make yourself look better qualified to be the Chancellor of the Exchequer if you won the election?
I'm really proud of the jobs that I did before I became a Member of Parliament. I worked at the Bank of England in the international area, working on investment and productivity. I worked as the second Economic Secretary at the British Embassy in Washington. I've done an undergraduate degree in PPE, a master's from the London School of Economics in economics, and then I worked in the private sector, where I worked for Halifax Bank of Scotland, working in Halifax in West Yorkshire and around the country, heading up teams both in the mortgages area and in the retail operations.
Why did you say that you'd worked at the Bank of England for a decade when in fact it was, well, it wasn't even 6 years, it was 5? I mean, that's exaggeration.
Anyway, and you can go look that up yourself.
This is Richard Madeley. This is like being gummed to death by your old Labrador who has no teeth. It's fantastic. Yes. If he's having a go, that's just brilliant.
Gummed to death by your old Labrador. Right. So I want to answer this question. And by the way, for those of you, for the hundreds of you who have joined since I started this video, we are coming live from the bed of Housing Stig. And that's his bed partner's Teddy, you can see there. But just because I happen to be here.
Don't mess with the Monica's teddy bears. Oh, you are in serious. That is a Polish bear. Right there.
Or the bear gets it.
She will fuck you up, man.
Okay. Right. So I want to answer that question about the chap who's selling, who said, if I accept this offer of...
So 315 grand.
This is the flat.
345 for it originally.
That's right. I will be approximately 5 grand in negative equity. That's before his agency fees and that kind of stuff as well, right? Important point here, first of all, that in the last 5 years, when everyone thinks that house prices went up all over the country, they didn't in London in flats. Secondly, buying new builds, you are always paying a retail premium that evaporates the day you take the keys.
Yep.
Just like a new car.
A car off the forecourt.
Right? That profit margin is gone like a fart in the wind as soon as you turn the keys of your new house, and it's no longer a new build. Thirdly,
so many people don't know that.
I know.
They think new builds.
No, and it's the same with people buying new cars. People can buy new cars with cash and just pay the retail price. Just think, oh, it's worth this much because I paid this much. No. Now, should he accept the offer? Well, I replied saying, I can't advise you whether to accept the offer or not, right? Because I don't know your reasons for selling. I don't know. And actually, I think it was a she, not he, because I got to reply later. Never mind. I did find out the reasons later. My point is this. What I would say is, I don't anticipate the market for one-bedroom leasehold flats getting any better.
Exactly. Which is why my answer was very simple. Just fucking sell it.
Hang on. What I would do is, because the risk here is that you avoid an offer that then falls through in a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
And you're back to square one, and actually the market's fallen away from you even further.
Yeah,
so my advice would be that if you do decide to accept the offer, make sure that the agent verifies proof of funds and ability to proceed very quickly. So make the offer conditional on a conveyancer being appointed, proof of funds, mortgage in principle, all being supplied within an agreed time frame that you set. It might be 7 days, it might be 14 days, but you must say, or you say, I'm considering the offer. I'm not going to make my answer until I see that you are actually committed to this transaction. So have you got a conveyancer? Have you got proof of your funds if it's cash, or mortgage in principle if it's a mortgage? I will only accept the offer if you schedule the lender's valuation the day I accept your offer. And I will only accept your offer if you agree to pay half my aborted costs if you later back out for any reason other than unforeseen stuff for the problem of the property, that kind of stuff. In other words, I would accept the offer, but I would nail it down to the ground first and make sure it's as proceedable and as quick as possible, because the risk of accepting the offer and therefore turning away other offers is that that buyer has a change of heart for whatever reason 3 or 4 or 5 months down the line, and your flat's value has got even worse by then. So that's what I would say about that. Right. Yes, we are live from Drunk Stig's bed on Friday morning. Do we have any questions? Lee Newell says, live from Stig's bed. What kind of dirty channel is this becoming? Becoming? It's always been a dirty channel.
No, but to be fair, we were at a birthday party.
We were at a birthday party last
night. And you slept on the sofa. But the monitor has now told you to get the fuck out of her space.
Yes. Is that just there to be wrapping up right now? I should wrap up right now, do you think?
Don't argue with Monica or she will kill you.
Someone says, Charlie, what are you doing on Stig's bed? Well, I thought to myself,
coffee,
I was going to do 5 Fact Friday from the car today, and I thought, actually, it'd be much more fun to do it with Stiggy before I leave his abode. Anyway, guys, it is time to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. There's a link below to all the stories that I've shared. There's also a link to my link tree, which is a link to all my links to everything, all the different ways I can help you with, all the different places you can follow me.
What, your OnlyFans?
That's right, my OnlyFans. That's the wrong thing to be showing. Sorry, I wanted to get the last thing on the screen. Sorry, it's
just the tip, Charlie. Don't worry.
Stop it. I think I should just leave as quick as possible. You can sign up for the newsletter on that link below as well, and you will get sporadic newsletters from me. But otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. All the best. Remember, if you're selling, don't ever price. And if you're buying, don't ever pay. Let the market do its thing. The market will determine the price of a transaction.
Was that your new? I like that. That's good. It's not just don't overpay. It's don't overprice and don't overpay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Sellers don't overprice and buyers don't overpay.
Yep.
As long as you don't,
let the market do it.
Let the market do its thing.
Perfect. And
remember, if you are selling, there are 3 prices that for your property: what you think it's worth, or what you want.
Yeah.
I want this much for it. That is of no consequence to anything or anyone. There's what the agent tells you they think it's worth, which is another guess, meaningless figure, and bears no resemblance to
I want your money.
And then there is number 3, which is what the market will pay for your home. That's the only figure of any relevance. The other 2 figures, what you want, what you think, or what the agent thinks, are all totally irrelevant.
Made up. Yep.
Bring your house to the market in a way that it attracts competing buyers, and the market will tell you what it's worth. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.